there's been a lot of backlash against the like East Coast Music Awards Association out there in Halifax and stuff, and some artists have like retracted their submissions from that, saying that like basically, from what I can gather, talking to those guys, and I'm paraphrasing this. This is my thoughts on it, not necessarily theirs, but that they're kind of out of touch with the hip hop scene, and that they've
Mm.
given some people who don't deserve those awards, and that they don't listen to enough hip hop to know who deserves the hip hop awards or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's pretty widespread, right? Like the awards across the country are, it seems to me, more reliant on who can write a better application, similar to a grant application, for like, hey, this is my album and this is why you should give it the award, than it is on like who actually made a dope album
Yeah.
necessarily, because there's a lot of albums that I haven't seen nominated for any awards that were great last year, and
Yeah.
then
But
there's some that I had never heard of that when I went and checked them out, they're good.
weren't as good. Yeah, but not as good.
Well, I'm not saying that they're not as good even. Like I like them. I listened to the Juno nominees this year, and like, but I was just kind of like, it takes a lot for me to not have found you. Like, where was
Yeah.
this music? Why did I not hear about this when it actually dropped or whatever? I spend
Mm.
hours and hours every week looking for people's music. It's weird that the
Yeah.
first time I hear about it is when it's nominated for a Juno Award.
Okay, so let's deal with 3 different awards. Okay, the East Coast Music Awards. I was involved with them once, and that was to help Shiest apply for or submit for. They call me Shiest, right? He ended up getting the nomination. That was years ago. I don't recall what that process is like. I'm not sure what the adjudication process is like, right?
Sure.
Let's now swing over to the Western Canadian Music Awards, which is hosted by Breakout West. I've been nominated for 3 of my projects, Maybe Tomorrow, Blue Collar, and Soul Merchant. That award is not for a recording, which a lot of people are misled because of the fact that it's most people think that the award, because you're submitting an album or submitting a select group of songs, that is for that specific project, but it's not. It's a little misleading. And not on their part, because they make it clear: rap/hip hop artist of the year, roots artist of the year, whatever the case may be, right? With that, they're looking at, so the WCMAs looks at a 2-year time period and says, we want you to submit an album that was released within this 2-year time period, in addition to support materials that shows us why you were the artist of that genre per that year, that time period, right? So you get a 2-year time frame, right? And so with that, the assessment is done through judges who will listen to the music in specific categories, and basically based off of the music itself and the support materials, they will then decide on, okay, this is our top 10 or whatever, and they submit those, and then based off of the ranking system, that will then come up with 5 nominees, right? From that point there, moving forward, anybody who is a member of a music industry association in Western Canada can vote on it. So at that point in time, it's not judges who are selected to listen to the music in that genre. It's now open to everybody, right? So that's why it's important for people such as yourself, people who are part of the culture, to be reaching out to the WCMAs, because they promote, like, hey, if you want to be a juror, sign up to be a juror, right? You do have to listen to all the music. You do have to take the time to go through all the support materials, but it is more than possible for people from our community to be involved with that. I don't know what the ECMAs is like, right? And because of the fact that we have that option, we need to be in communication. Again, I spoke about it earlier. The conversations we need to be having with a lot of these organizations, we're not having them. We're looking at it from the standpoint of, you're over there, we're over here, as opposed to being like, hey, you guys have an award show that has a category for hip hop. We would like to be involved with this, right? Years ago, Adaptation was up against an album by Red One, an album by Johanna Sillenpaw, and an album by Scavenger, and another group that I can't remember, right? It was called the Outstanding Urban Recording.
Okay.
Politic Lab is hip hop. Red One is hip hop. Johanna Sillenpaw is jazz. And Scavenger is ska, and I can't remember. My apologies to the other act that was nominated for this, right? So you have all these artists who are competing for this one award, and all the genres, it's just all mixed up, right? Scavenger won that night, and when Scavenger won, they're like, "Hey, bro, like we should have won this award. Should have went to you guys, right?" Like, yo, you guys won this. It's fair and square, right? However, we realized and recognized that there was a need for there to be a separate category for hip hop. But at the time, the Western Canadian Music Awards wasn't getting enough hip hop submissions. So myself and Will Strickland spoke with them and said, what do we need to do to create a separate hip hop category, a separate R&B category, separate reggae category? And they had said, if we can get a certain number of submissions in for each category per year, we will create a separate category for that. So I went on a promotional campaign to the point that I got myself in a lot of trouble with a lot of people who are just like, you're promoting the WCMAs awards. And it's just like, yo, like we're trying to build something, guys, right? So we ended up getting a category for hip hop. Then eventually we end up getting a category for R&B. Reggae still doesn't have a category, which I'm hoping they'll get one. But even just this year, Afrobeats was a category was created for that, right?
Nice.
And I say that to say that the more communication we have with these organizations, the more we end up getting what we need for our community to make sure our genres are represented. So it's a conversation piece.